Okay. Hello.
Here we are.
We
We're setting sail.
we're doing sea things. With 7th Sea.
We're getting on a boat.
This is card game Necromancy
We're putting one paddle in front of the other.
on a boat. All right. Yeah. So I don't know how to play this game.
Yep.
Do you guys know how to play this game?
We're diving. We're going straight into choppy waters.
All right. Yeah. Let's do
So,
it.
7th Sea came out. What's the copyright date on this?
1999.
1999. There you go. And I would say it actually learned a lot of the lessons from card games. The art direction of this game is not hideous.
No, it's
at
not
all.
bad. No.
There's like a couple of really interesting things to point out. You have kind of a board that you set up beforehand. There's the 5 of the 7 seas are actually in play. The 6th sea is effectively impassable.
Mm-hmm.
It's too scary. There's monsters in it. You can't get past it. And allegedly beyond the 6th sea is the 7th sea.
I see. Code Red. Parkwad. What's up, y'all?
Hey, what's going on?
I'll only take these deck names off here.
Oh yeah.
All right.
This is effectively the 1600s, I believe.
Okay.
Because the flavor for the admiral that you are playing is that he is effectively from Spain, and the Spanish Armada was destroyed not too long ago.
Okay.
So this is pre-discovery of the New World. If we go back and look at our history books, so 1600s, we haven't really found America yet. This is very Eurocentric. So now Justin is playing the Castilians, and I am playing the Explorer Society. We'll jump into the types of cards in the game. I think the most interesting place to start are the captains.
Yeah. Okay.
Justin is playing Enrique there, and I'm playing Guy. And your captains,
Push them up a little bit.
your captains are basically like every other crew in the game. Every character is going to have those 5 stats that you see along the middle there. In the upper left-hand corner, you've got 2 numbers. The captain has a starting wealth value, and that's what they can use to hire a crew. And then the faction symbol is directly underneath that. So that red gauntleted fist is the Castilians, and then the compass there are the Explorer Society. Now, interestingly, the color of your symbol corresponds with the sea that you start in.
Okay.
So the red border here on La Boca,
Mm-hmm.
that's where the Castilians start. And the gray border on the Trade Sea is where the Trade League starts.
Makes sense.
Or sorry, the Explorers League. The Sea Dogs start in the Trade Sea. The Montaigne start in the Frothing Sea. And
How many factions are there?
in the base set, I believe there were 6. You had like 2 pirate factions that started in the Forbidden Sea. You had 2 factions you had 2 that started in the gray. You had 1 that started in the blue. Actually, I think there was 1 in the purple, 2 in the red, 1 in the blue, 2 in the gray.
Okay. None in the green?
No, I don't believe so. Yeah. I can go grab the other factions if people have any interest in them, but and effectively this is like an alternative history Europe. The Montaignes are the French. Germany isn't its own country. It's like a bunch of small like what's left over of the barbarian kingdoms.
Okay.
From before. So it's smaller kingdoms that before they united there. England exists, except it's called something else. And like Russia is called like Osiris or something like that. So it's a lot of it's stuff that like and then like Castile and Catalan that's like in Spain, you know. But so a lot of like alternative history stuff going on, which is it's kind of like a trademark of a lot of some of the card games from the time because Deadlands was that way. So anyway, that's the aside there. 7th still exists to today in today's world just as an RPG.
Okay, it's a tabletop RPG.
Tabletop RPG. It was like Kickstarted not that long ago. I believe they're still making content for it, and I think they actually went further than just kind of like swapping some names around.
Yeah.
When they did the Kickstart, I think they expanded on the lore and stuff like that. And since this was an AEG game, one of the goals with it was to actually develop a storyline as players played. So
just like Legends of Five Rings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like evolve the game based on that. That's one of the coolest things about.
I think it's an awesome thing. Yeah. Really cool. All right. Anyway, so back to the captains. Now, you've got the 5 traits across the middle, and all characters are going to have that. And this is another one of those things where the icons kind of tell you what's going on, right? The cannon represents how much of a cannon attack that character can attack with. The sail there is how much sailing they produce. The skull and crossbones, the Jolly Roger there, that is what's known as adventuring. The crown is influence, and that is effectively money. And then the crossed swords are swashbuckling. And swashbuckling is effectively your character's hit points.
Okay.
And I'll get into damage in a second. Now, the captains also have a special ability when they have enough of their crew with them, they get to use that special ability.
Does the game use any sort of tokens?
It does not.
So damage is like happens and they die or not?
Correct. Yeah. You don't need tokens for this game. The only thing you need is kind of like a marker for where you're moving.
Okay.
I figured since it's just 2 players,
you just put the ship where it is.
You just put the ship where it is.
Yeah.
So now in this game, appropriately, flavorfully, you don't tap or untap. You tack or untack.
Okay.
Because that's a nautical term. So yeah, if something refers to tacking or whatnot, that's what it is. It means.
Did you learn a lot about nautical terms?
I did not. I didn't brush up on it. I knew like a handful of them from when I ran like a series of D&D sessions that were on a boat.
Not from your sailing pass,
but not from any sort
D&D.
of not from any sort of.
I know a bit about sailing myself from when I ran a D&D camp.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I was forced to look up like what the size of an average ship was, and so
that's right.
Yeah, exactly. Won't get you sued. So, Justin's captain says, while you have 3 or more Castilian crew on your ship, all of your boarding attacks inflict 1 extra hit. That means that when you're attacking in hand-to-hand combat, you get extra damage. And then Guy says, once per turn, while you have 3 or more explorers crews on your ship, you may get an item adventure or an artifact adventure from your deck, show it to your opponent, and put it into your hand. So he basically tutors up specific adventures to go on.
Okay.
Now, once the game past the first set, I believe there were more captains and more boats you could choose from. But in the first set, you were kind of locked into 1 captain and 1 boat. So I'll show off the boats that we're using now. It's too high. Doing it live.
Yep, that's good.
Live editing. Okay. So Justin's boat is the Corazon del Castile, and I am on the Discovery. So in the top left corner, that's your faction symbol. So once again, those match. And in the top right is the actual sailing cost for the boat. So to move Justin's boat's bigger. It costs more sailing to actually move. So you have to tack a crew that has that much sailing. I'm sorry, you have to attack that much sailing. It could be 1 or more crew, but you have to pay that much sailing to move the boat.
2 questions. Is there a disarm keyword?
No.
And does each captain come with a ship, or can you choose which ship you run?
You can choose which ship you run and which captain. However, in the first set, I believe there was only one of each.
They just have to be within the faction of the
It has to be within the faction. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So you can mix and match.
Yeah.
So the crew maximum there tells you how many crew you can have active at any time. Justin's boat is bigger, so he can have a larger crew.
Also, Lord Farquaad resubbed for 1 year, so thank you so much for that. Well, sorry, we missed that. Yeah, I might have been during the intro, but thank you. 1 year worth of keys.
Appreciate that.
Very pog.
Yeah,
extreme pog.
The first line of text there is react. Attack before performing action to move to an adjacent sea. Every boat effectively has a free move. So before you take an action, you can use your boat once per turn to move into an adjacent sea.
Okay.
Now, it does not wrap around. You can't go off the trade sea and come onto the mirror.
The world is flat.
Yes, the world is flat. So you can go from here to here to here to here, and you can move in any direction that you want.
Flat Earth confirmed.
Yep, flat Earth. 2-dimensional. So water in all directions. So yeah, once per turn, effectively, your boat has a free move on it. And then each boat has extra text on it. So Justin's boat says, "Tack when you are paying the sailing cost to begin a boarding to produce 5 sailing." And I will make that make sense in a second. And then the discovery says, "Tack when paying a sailing cost to produce 3 sailing." That I will also make that make sense.
All right.
Now, one of the cool things about this game that I really like is that costs on cards are match the symbols.
Okay, great.
All right, I'm gonna show off some actions real quick. So actions, you're very familiar with these from any card game you've ever played. One-time use effects, and the yellow icon on the card is the cost. Sure. Video editing on the fly.
I just gotta get him to focus. That's the real trouble.
Yeah. So the sea creature here is see-through. It's color corrected. Oh, and the back is. I chose terrible actions to choose for this.
That's actually cool.
All right. So the yellow cost there has got a skull and crossbones. So that means I would pay adventuring on my characters to play these actions.
Oh, okay.
Now the red on it is the cost it takes for the opponent to actually cancel that action. So a lot of actions that affect your opponent have like built-in counter spells on them. But effectively for these cards, I think it's worth it. You're tapping people down. You tap something.
The dark red box is the counter spell.
Exactly. So a better offer here costs 3 adventuring to play, and it says target a ship. That ship has more than one untapped crew. That player must tack one of their crew.
It is pretty cool. It's like the Dune outbidding.
Yes.
It reminds me of that. Right?
Yeah, it's built in. That card's there to tap somebody.
Yeah.
So if you tap to counter it, it's basically done its job.
Yeah.
And then the other card here, Queen of the Sea, you pay 6 adventuring. It says target a ship. That ship suffers 3 hits. And you could counter it by paying 2 sailing there.
Yeah.
All right. And you'll notice that on those cards they had 3 icons on them, and we'll keep those in mind. We're going to get to those.
Okay.
So that's actions. Actions basically will have a cost on them. They do what they say.
Yep.
So, straightforward.
Now your discard pile to play it, I assume.
Go to your discard pile. Okay. Yes, there is a distinction in this game.
Okay.
There's the discard pile, and then there's the sunk pile. Once again, we're getting there.
I gotcha.
So now we also have here's a regular crew, foul weather Jack, and then here is a crew attachment. And there's a bunch of attachments in this game, and they tell you where they go.
Okay.
So this is like the charter here. Each faction in the starter deck came with like a unique card that you played on your captain. You had to do something to get it, but you got a bonus on it. So like this says, you may not put this card into play unless you've completed 3 adventures. But it gives all of your completed adventures extra bonuses.
I see.
Yours has to do with boarding actions. And so if you if you, I believe, if you, as long as you have started a boarding action, then you can play yours, and you get extra hits in future boarding actions.
Okay.
So Master Gunner here, up in the top right corner, tells you that you get +1 cannon. It costs 3 influence to play right there in the middle of the card, yellow cost. Put it into play. And it just gives a crew member +1 cannon. Foul Weather Jack here is a regular crew member. Cards do have keywords on them. They're not loaded in this game for the most part.
So they just are like traits.
Yeah, no attachments is you're pretty familiar with that if you've played any FFG games. But Gunner here is a trait that can be referred to on by other cards. And then I'm
kind of surprised they haven't used no attachments in Keyforge now that I think about it.
Yeah. I would think you would want like a keyword on it, but at the same time,
that's kind of like anti-Keyforge.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Well, I think it would be like a keyword.
Yeah.
So anyway, once again you'll notice the 3 boxes here with letters in them. That's coming.
Okay,
I promise.
We're getting there. I think.
I promise the explanation is coming. The traits on the crew right there, the abilities that they have, that's what they are.
Right.
So a lot of crew members don't have like a wide variety of abilities. They specialize in something like that. And if they'll have some text. For instance, Foul Weather Jack says, I must discard the top card of my deck each time I shuffle my deck, and I sink him if the boarding attack on the discard is a slash. Okay, it's probably making a little bit more sense now what those letters are. Those letters are what's known as boarding attacks, and I'll explain how they work once we get to the actual actions of the game.
Mm-hmm.
The top letter right there is the boarding action attack.
Okay. So it is a P attack.
Yes, so that is a punch.
Punch.
C is club.
Okay.
T is thrust. D is dagger. And then S is slash.
All right. Got it. Makes sense.
Okay. And the 2 underneath it are the counters, but I'll explain it.
You're not allowed to come full circle with this explanation because it's flat Earth. So
okay.
There has to be a stopping point.
Sorry, I will box in the explanation. How about that? Okay, and the last card type, I don't believe I'm missing any card types. I don't know what kind of explanation this would be. I'll just show off 2
adventures.
2 adventures.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me get a good one. Okay, yeah, I like this one. All right. So, here are some adventures. I showed like an easy one to complete and one that's a little bit more difficult to complete. Okay, so adventures have a place that you can play them. So if I play Raise the Village, I have to play it at least 1 sea away. If I play Sails of the Wind, I have to place it 3 seas away.
You play it on one of the seas?
Exactly. So if I'm in the Trade Sea, I could put Burn the Village in the Frothing Sea.
Can only you complete it, or can I complete your adventure?
I believe only me, but I might be wrong. I think completing adventures are what's in the sea. You may put the adventure in as an action to complete the adventure and attach to the card. Yes. So I don't believe that you can complete other players' adventures.
All right.
I hope I'm not wrong about that. Okay. I believe adventures are player loyal. Yeah, as an action, you may put an adventure into play as described in the adventure section. Let's go to the adventure section. Adventures.
So if you complete the Burn the Village one, does it attach to someone?
One of your uncompleted adventures. Yes. So to complete it says tack 3 adventuring, 2 if completed in the Forbidden Sea. Okay. And then it says crew attachment underneath it, +1 swashbuckling. The crew inflicts 1 extra hit during boarding attacks. You get the bonus up in the corner, and you choose a crew to put it on. And Sails of the Wind, for instance, is a captain attachment, so it has to go on the captain. So
the guy in Raise the Village says, "What the heck?" It's pretty funny. So if it says 1 sea away, is that at least 1 sea away, or is it exactly 1 sea away?
I think it has to be. When you want to put an adventure play, you look at the text box. At the top is how many seas away from your ship you need to put the adventure. No more, no less. So, yeah. So you have to put it at least that far.
Exactly that far.
Exactly that far. Yeah. You have to put it exactly that far. So sails. So if you were in La Boca, you couldn't play Sails of the Wind. You got to move before you could play it, and then you got to go get it. So now there's no limit to the number of adventures you can have in play.
All right.
There were cards that punished you for having too many adventures in play, but I didn't include any of those because that's kind of lame.
You don't have to pay anything to play an adventure; you just play it.
Correct.
And you complete it by paying for the adventures.
Exactly.
Okay.
So now the turn order. Okay. So the first thing we do is we have an initiative battle, and at the start of each turn we count up the total number of sailing points. So that is going to be the sailing on the crew that you have.
So how did we get to the starting crew?
So you spent the wealth that the captain has to begin with.
So my captain has 8 gold worth of wealth, and I distributed that amongst my starting guys. This was chosen by Nathan.
Yeah.
So this is like I could spend 8 gold from whatever like stuff out of my deck. And
correct.
It's part of the deck building. Yep. And can you? At what point in the game do you get your crew out? Like when do you decide?
So you actually we reveal our captains and boats effectively simultaneously.
Okay.
And so you could see that I'm playing the Discovery and then change your mind and go.
Do we like change our stuff
crew
and then turn them up?
Yeah, and then we go pay our starting gold and we flip it all up at the same time.
I see. Okay.
Now that to me is kind of exciting, right?
Cool,
because you could tailor your deck based off of whatever the popular archetypes were. You could
like this is my start against the Germans or whatever.
Exactly. So you could have a
and it's a good excuse to play like a one-of guy in your deck that's like a tech play, right?
You're not punished
you're
for
start with them
because you can just go get them.
Yeah.
Yep, to begin the game.
I like that.
So I think that's awesome. AEG is.
I don't know if there's a fast turn phrase in
There's not. I don't believe so.
That may be completely unique to Dune.
We actually so. Once we determine the initiative, there's the action phase.
Okay.
And the way the action phase works is it's actually like Destiny. So it's you take an action, I take an action. You take an action, I take an action. We go back and forth until both of us pass.
Okay.
If one of us passes, then I think you're like done. When all players pass in a row, each player may perform one of the following actions or pass. When all players pass in a row, the actions phase is over and the turn moves on to the draw phase.
Okay.
So now your free move on your ship, I should say, you tack before performing an action to move to an adjacent sea. You have to actually perform an action. You can't just move your boat for free and pass or whatever. You have to take some sort of action. And the action list is hire crew, play an action, place for complete adventures, play an attachment, move your ship, make a cannon attack, perform a boarding, discard a crew, or discard an adventure.
Do we have a player reference sheet?
I will leave this. I'll leave this like right here, so that you can refer to it as we go. Now, so most of those are pretty self-explanatory.
We have to say, "Art, be your turn." Between turns. Every single time one of us takes one action.
One single action. So now you can voluntarily toss one of your crew off your boat as an action because you've got a maximum number of crew. So you can just get rid of them. But it is an action to do that. And then you discard an adventure. You can choose to get rid of an adventure that you haven't completed.
Is that an action?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know why that matters. Yeah, I mean, I could see that in like Destiny, sometimes you take like meaningless actions, a stall action,
to make your opponent keep going, right? Is like the first person to pass, do they get initiative or something like that?
Nope.
No.
Your sailing is your initiative each turn. Okay. So the one thing, making a cannon attack,
IRL sailing, that'd be pretty funny.
The making a cannon attack is pretty straightforward. Right. If we're in the same sea, I attack one of my crew that has a cannon value, and I do that many hits to your ship. Okay? So if I attack this guy and do 2 damage to your ship, you have to tap up to 2 crews. Up to 2 swashbuckling from crew.
That's like that and that.
Yeah, you could tap those. You could tap her. She would be more. Okay.
Yeah, there. Overkill,
but
right?
yeah, there's no overkill. But you could like tap these 2 to qualify. Now you can also do what's known as sinking a crew. So now this guy also says when he tacks to absorb hits, he absorbs 2 extra hits.
All right.
So you could tack him and absorb all of it. But you could tack the fancy dans to absorb 1 and then sink the fancy dans. They go to your sunk pile.
They're dead forever.
They're dead forever. But that would also count.
Is that 1 hit? So you basically anything that's tapped can take 1 hit and they're sunk?
They can take up to their swashbuckling cost.
Okay, so my captain, if he's tapped, has to take 5 hits to be sunk?
1 will kill him. If you have to satisfy the hits. Does that make sense? If your whole crew is tacked,
yeah,
right, and you take 1, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So when they're tacked, it's only 1, right? To kill him. So
yeah, 1 will kill him, but they absorb up to their swashbuckling.
Yeah, I don't say if he's actually already tapped.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but you could, if you took 3, you could choose to sink her to absorb the 3.
If I took 3 and everyone was tacked already?
Yes. You could choose one that has 3 to absorb the 3.
Okay. But
they absorb up to that many.
I couldn't choose this guy.
You could absorb him. That would be 1, but you still have 2 to go. And so you could like absorb these guys as well.
But if I had no guys and I was taking 1 damage and I only had my captain, he would die. Okay.
Dead. Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So now
I'm assuming captain dead means we lose.
The goal of the game is to sink the opponent's captain.
Okay.
Yep, that's the goal. Okay. So now, the big thing is boarding. Okay. And that deck's based off of boarding.
All right. So I need to know.
So you got to know how this works.
Okay.
Okay. So if another player's ship is in the same sea as yours, you can start a boarding action. All right. And to begin boarding, you pay sailing costs equal to your ship's move cost.
Mine's 4.
Yep. And then the other player may pay sailing equal to their ship's costs to avoid you, basically.
Right. Yeah.
You're trying to get close enough to board, okay? To cancel. So if you can't or don't pay the cost, the boarding starts.
Okay.
And for the rest of the boarding, the person who started the boarding attack is the attacker. All right. But we each take turns sending one of our crew in for a boarding attack.
Okay. So like I'm attacking you, then you attack me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they
were never viable? Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't like to hear that.
Yeah. I think there were massive balance issues with boarding.
We will learn those things.
Yeah. So there are some like really broken cannon cards that I did not include in this deck to try to make the boarding deck more viable.
All right.
Because it's like you try to board me, I ignore it, and then I hit you with a big old cannon.
There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, and I'm like take 20 or something like that. So yeah. Anyways, but I specifically didn't include those cards.
Okay.
Because to me that's not really
right.
It wouldn't be fun.
We want to showcase the game.
Yeah.
Fair.
All right. So yeah. So all right. So beginning with the attacker, you push forward 1 crew and play any card from your hand. Okay, and that starts the boarding attack. All right. So if you play this, you ignore the text.
That's when I'm daggering.
Yeah. The only thing that matters on this card is that big red box. In this case, so you're trying to hit him with a dagger. Right. Now, I can take a card from my hand where the bottom 2 match the one that you played and effectively counter your attack.
One of the bottom 2?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you attack with the dagger, I can defend and then try to club you.
All right, then that can be like...
And then you can play something that counters the club, and then you're punching me.
Okay.
And so on and so on. So I could like defend the punch and then go back to a dagger. And we keep going, so if one of us runs out of cards in hand...
Then... Do you have to keep going, or can you say, I'll just take it?
Yeah, so you can decide to just take it at some point, right? So the other player can either take the hits or send... the largest box, Yep. Okay. If they choose to take the hits, you take the hits that it says. So, for instance, this is at least as long as my explanation. Yes. So, like, if your captain is getting in there and fighting, he would hit for 5 because that's what swashbuckling is, and he also has the swordsman skill that gives him +3. So your captain would actually hit for 8.
So I really want to make that captain attack stick.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah. And when you throw one of your characters into attack, I can choose to defend or just take the hit.
If you don't defend, then we don't go through the attack cards.
Yeah, you would play the card from your hand as the attack, and then I would just take the hits. You still have to discard the card. Now, any character that you volunteer for a fight, if the character you attack with and the character that you defend with, any hits have to go to those characters first.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to do Star Wars CCG at some point, and I don't know how to play that game, so that's going to be a long rules explanation. I've tried to learn that game
multiple times.
About 10 years ago now, but it was always a struggle for me, so we'll get there eventually.
And you can always
learn Dune, we can learn anything.
You can always choose not to play the card, so you can like send somebody in.
Yeah, there is a turn. It's because I moved it.
Yeah.
It's not.
There you go. So whoever played the final boarding attack inflicts hits equal to their crew's swashbuckling, and then all the characters involved are attacked and moved out of the way. And if 2 crew are fighting, then the losing crew must absorb as many hits. After all the hits have been suffered, the 2 dueling crews are attacked. And if they weren't already, they go back. And then once the attacker is finished, the defender starts by pushing forward an attacker, going back and forth. And then after the defender's turn in the fight, each player draws 3 cards, so that way you've got more cards to fight with. And then you begin attacking. Okay. And so instead of starting a boarding attack, the attacker and defender may just pass. And then if we both pass, then the boarding attack ends. So there you go. If the attacker and defender both pass, each player draws 3 cards and the boarding is over.
After the passing?
Yes.
Okay.
So you do draw 3 cards after everything is done. So.
But you also draw after attacks?
So it's attacker, defender, draw 3 cards. Attacker, defender, draw 3 cards. So that you got fuel for the next couple rounds of fighting. So, okay. All right. So, boarding attacks, complicated, but I think that's the most complicated part of the game.
Yeah, it seems like it seemed pretty cool though.
Yeah. All right. So, the Discovery is starting in the Trade Sea. The Corazon del Castillo starts in La Boca. I'm starting with Guy, Maggie Malone, Archaeologists, and Foulweather Jack as my crew.
All right, so you only have 3 crew and your captain?
Yeah, so 4 crew total. Yeah.
So captain does count as a crew?
Yes, yeah. They're basically a crew, so yeah.
Pod racing? The pod racing sub-theme.
Yeah, there was, and it was like viable for a while. They tried to do like a block thing towards the end of the Star Wars CCG, so you could play like just episode 1 decks. So yeah, those were like complicated because it was very annoying. You basically had to play pod racers because like the opponent would just get a bunch of free damage in off their pod racers.
It's like I win the race, right?
Yeah,
okay,
exactly. Yeah.
Do you randomize the order of the C's, or is the
C's set? C's are static.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is all of them.
Yeah, and that is all of the C's. It is a misnomer. The game is called 7th Sea, but you only fight in 5 of them. So, all right. Okay. So Yeah, we're ready to dive in there.
All right.
The starting hands, I believe, are 7 cards. Verify that. The rating deck. Each player draws 7. Yeah. So there you go.
Later, they did release the other 2. Interesting.
Ah, okay. It's expansion material right there. Okay. Okay, so we count up the sailing. Let's see who goes first. So I've got 3, 6, 8 sailing.
I have 4.
4 sailing? Okay.
Right, that's that number?
Yep. So I am going first. I will... I'm going to play an adventure in the Frothing Sea. It's called Eisen Cannons. The adventure is 1 COA, and I'll just, for the first several cards, I'll just put them onto our camera, just that way everybody can read them. Yeah, so TAC 3 adventuring, 2 if completed in the Frothing Sea, and it's an attachment that gives +3 cannons. I play it 1 COA, so I put it into the Frothing Sea. And your turn.
All right, so I'll put this adventure, the Castilian merchant ship.
Okay.
So I can TAC 3 adventuring, 2 if completed in the Forbidden Sea to give a crew +3 cannons.
Okay. All right. I am going to
Some dag sailing.
I'm gonna use. Remember, you have the free move. I'm gonna use Guy McCormick. He's gonna tap for 4 influence, so that I can play Maggie Malone. Now she's not unique, so I can play multiple copies of her. And the deck limit in this game was 3.
Okay.
It might be 4, but I think it was 3. So go ahead.
What is influence?
Influence is the money, is the crown.
Oh,
that's what that is.
okay.
Yeah. I think I built these deck with 3 as the limit. So.
And dudes come into play untapped.
Dudes do come into play untapped. There's no summoning sickness in this game. So. Max hand size is 7. That may randomly matter. It could matter if there's like a bunch of boarding attacks that happen.
All right, so I will pay some money.
I don't know where it is in the book.
Get Carlos Altanar.
Okay.
He's a crew. He's villainous.
Yes.
He's got some sailing. He's got some swashbuckling.
Yep.
So that's his specialty. So that's what I got.
Got a variety pack of.
Yep.
Okay. So. There are heroic and villainous crew, and by themselves they don't do anything, but they are referred to on other cards. The villainous have larger upsides but larger downsides. And the heroic card, I only saw like one of the heroic cards going through the collection that I had, and it was not very good. So.
You said influence is money?
Yes.
Oh, so he actually has +1 money while in La Boca, so I don't have to tap this guy.
Yes, yep. That was why she was included,
Okay.
is so that you can use her to pay for the other crew. She's she pays for herself very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I am. I'm going to use my boat to move for free, to move to the Eisen Cannons, or to the Frothing Sea, I should say. That's before I complete an action. So I'm going to use the Archaeologists to use their 2 adventuring to complete the Eisen Cannons when I move there, and then I give it to a crew. I'm going to give it to Foulweather Jack because it's just funny to me because he could leave the crew at any time. It's whenever I shuffle my deck, I have to discard the top card, and if the boarding action is a slash, he explodes. So I'm going to give him a cannon. And your turn.
All right. Play for Padre Esteban. He is. He's got some cannons. He's got some swashbuckling. A little bit of sailing. He's a gunner. He's holy. So yeah.
Okay. A little bit of everything.
A little bit of stuff. No money. What's the middle thing?
That is adventuring.
Adventuring. Okay.
Yeah. Which is what you use to complete the adventures.
Got it.
Okay. I will. See, if I move into your sea, you can shoot at me, and if I search my deck, so my captain can go through and like search my deck for an adventure. I didn't include too many slashes in this deck, so I'll just go ahead and use his ability. So once per turn, while I have 3 or more other explorer crew, so I've got 4, so this will work. I can search my deck for an item adventure or artifact adventure and put it in my hand. So I am going to get
if the guy is attacking during boarding, he has to be untapped.
Yes.
Does he tap after he attacks?
Yes, but
okay.
He can tack to like absorb hits from the attack. So if he was attacking and lost the fight, then you could tack him to absorb the hits from the opponent.
Okay.
So,
but even if he's successful, he tacks after the attack is done?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna get Sails of the Wind. This is an artifact one. So that's in my hand now. I'll shuffle, and then I gotta discard the top card of my deck to see if Foul Weather Jack explodes. I'm doing this for the drama.
It might happen.
We'll see. This is for fans. Make suboptimal play. We make bold plays. It is a punch, so he's fine. So this is in my hand. Go ahead.
I think I'm just gonna board you. So I'll attack before performing an action to move to an adjacent sea.
Okay.
Right? Or no, attack when you're performing a sailing. Oh wait.
You have to be in the same sea for that one too.
When you're paying the sailing cost beginning boarding to produce 5 sailing.
Yeah. So there is an action that I've included in that deck that it has a steering wheel on it, and it's got a number, and the steering wheel means the sailing cost of your ship. That's what the steering wheel on the boat is.
All right.
Okay. So this would produce 5 towards that.
I see.
It's steering wheel plus 3. And to cancel it, it costs steering wheel plus 3. So that's what this is for. It's slightly confusing, not necessarily intuitive, but that's what that is doing. So, okay, so you're coming over here.
Yeah.
All right. And then you have to tap 4 sailing to try to board me.
Oh. Okay. Dang. I guess I'll tap my captain.
Yeah. Okay. I will. My guys are a bunch of nerds that are gonna get beat up. So I will tack 3 sailing to not get boarded. So I will cancel the boarding.
Okay.
I wonder if I just shoot you. Foul Weather Jack shoots for 5. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll shoot you with Foul Weather Jack and I'll let you have shown aggression.
I'm gonna play Bad Powder as a reaction. Play when a powder. Oh wait, I might not be able to pay for that. I actually can't pay for that.
Yeah,
it costs 1.
Yep, 1 adventure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you're getting shot for 5 then. So you have to.
I'm gonna play this card that says when you would suffer a cannon attack, you suffer 2 fewer hits.
Okay, so so you take 2 fewer. So now you take 3.
So I'll use the brutes because they absorb 2 extra hits.
Okay.
So they can absorb 3.
Yep.
Right.
All right. Yep. That'll stop it. And it is your go.
So I can't actually board you anymore.
Correct.
I guess I could canonize you. So I could just tap that guy to shoot for 2?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to tap Maggie Malone. She's 1 swashbuckling, and it says when she tacks to absorb hits, she absorbs 1 extra hits except during boarding. Okay, and I am going to play the Sails of the Wind down in the mirror. It has to be played 3 seas away, so 1, 2, 3. And it's only an 8 adventuring if I complete it in the mirror. So, all right, your turn.
I guess this guy will shoot at 1.
Okay, I am going to. I guess we're gonna lose the archaeologists. They are sunk.
Bang.
Bang.
First blood.
Yep. I will. I'm gonna play Lady Katarina into La Boca. I won't get the extra bonus. It has to be in the mirror for this one, but it's a +1 swashbuckling. So
I think I pass now.
Okay, I will pass.
Okay.
All right, so we both passed. That means we go to the draw step. And in the draw
honor
step,
you with my water.
We're in water. We're currently in water.
It's like all this water.
Yeah.
Look around you.
It's the opposite of Dune. All players draw 3 cards.
Okay.
There is a 7-card hand size.
I see.
And then we untack everything. So everything readies up. And okay, we go to the initiative. The sand. I disgrace you with my sand.
You poop in a bag and you throw it at their ship.
Yeah. I attack you with his powder. Lights cannon. Okay. Your ship is also ready. Now I have 9 sailing.
1,
You have 4.
2, 3, 4.
You have
No, sorry, 7. Yeah.
7. Okay. So I am first. Do I just open up on you? Just fire? Fire? It taps a bunch of your crew.
Sure wish there was more sailing in this deck.
Yeah, there are multiple characters that have 4 sailing by themselves.
So it could board just by tapping.
Yes.
Okay, so I wouldn't have to pay my capped. Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Man, if I get boarded, I am just like dunzo. I wonder if I have to run like a coward. I think I gotta run like a coward.
It's a coward's move.
Yeah, I kind of want to shoot you too. I think shooting you is pretty sweet.
Shoot me, you coward.
Yeah, that's fine. Foul Weather Jack is gonna fire. Open fire. Shoot you for 5.
All right. Alright, I'll play this reaction now. So, when a player attacks a crew to produce a cannon, that crew produces no cannon. The crew's controller may pay 2 adventuring to prevent this.
Yeah, I'm not going to pay the adventuring because that's fine. Okay. Foul Weather Jack, you're supposed to shoot him with the good powder, not the bad powder.
Alright, we boarding you.
Okay. Yeah, I am a coward still, I think.
Okay.
I will spend the 3 to stop the boarding. I can already see that's why it's kind of like pretty bad, right? Because it's just like
it can just never hit.
Yeah,
like you can never. Your entire deck can be dedicated to something that your opponent can just stop.
Right, by tapping one guy.
Yeah.
Well, I tried shooting you. I'm out of ideas. So I think we're gonna move. I think what I do is I use my ship for the free movement, move to here, and then use Maggie to move me to here. So I can get nice and far from you. And it is your turn.
All right.
How's it going? Entice the Betrayer.
So look, those cards are awful.
So I did not. I like. There are a lot of really bad actions in this game. There's like an action that says play when you're producing a resource. You discard a card from your hand to produce like one extra of that resource.
I don't hate that now, having seen the game.
You don't hate it?
No, because I'm like one short from doing all kinds of random stuff.
Okay, fair enough.
So yeah, this is actually a 7th C, but it is the same creators of L5R.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate the concept of that action, honestly.
Fair enough.
Okay, so I need to do something. So, because like right now, I want to sail, but I have to pay 4 to sail, so I would have to type my captain, which isn't great.
Yeah.
But like the rest of my crew produces total 3 sailing. I would be fine if I was tapping these 2 guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You sleep?
You alright there?
I sleep growling.
Straight sleep round?
It is very asleep. All right.
To be fair, I thought this deck would have more money than it actually does, so I don't have any money in this
money is
deck.
tough to come by. That is true. All right, I'll just play this here, Lady Katarina adventure.
Okay.
The balanced way to counter boarding. I don't know. That's a thematic way to counter boarding, right?
Yeah,
so that makes sense because you're just like chip it away from them.
I will.
So I think it's fine.
I'm going to use my captain's ability to go through my deck and find something.
So that's a tough, like, we'll see how it goes like throughout the course of the game, but like the initial impression is that right, it gets like too easy to counter, but like maybe your deck could be built more on speed. I think the downside is that my ship costs so much to move. Like if you want to do a boarding deck, you need a faster ship. So maybe this faction isn't great at it, or maybe that ship specifically isn't great at it. Even though it gives you bonus for boarding, it's a weird trade-off.
I'm gonna get the Keel of Rowanwood. Actually, I want. Franzini's Lost Notebook.
All right.
Make my adventuring better. Okay, and then I gotta see if I blow up my own foul weather deck. Yeah, I intentionally included ways for you to produce more money at the start there because I felt like you were going to have to buy the crew to actually staff the boat.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm at 8 cards. I will discard a card.
Get it immediately.
Let's see.
Yeah, the cost of prevent boarding escalate each time you do it. Ooh, maybe. Or you could like.
If you ever have more cards than your maximum in your hand, you must immediately discard down.
Okay. And discard the top.
So yeah, the top. It's not a slash.
Okay.
I'll discard Out of Run. Go ahead. Kind of mad you shot my archaeologists.
Yeah. I know, bud. Alright, I'll pay 2, 3, 4 for Luis de Rioja. He can tack and sink himself to get a crew card from my sunk pile and put it in my hand. His stats are awful.
Yeah.
And he costs 4, so I don't love playing that guy, but
yeah,
he does produce money.
Yeah.
So.
And he can go get one of your like better crew that have died.
Yeah.
So. All right. He's better like in the late game. So I'm gonna use my captain to play Foul Weather Jack. Enter.
I will use this card to discard one of my villainous crew to draw 3 cards. So I'll discard this guy. Draw 3 cards.
The Bunky's Fist.
I don't know if that's worth it because that guy was pretty good, but we'll see.
There's more of that guy where he came from. So Okay, so I am going to put Mordecai's casket into the mirror. And it's 3 adventuring if it's completed in the mirror. And it gets a crew +1 swashbuckling, and they produce 2 extra hits during boarding attacks. Your turn.
Okay. I'll pay 3, 4 for Mountainous Mike.
Yeah.
He does have a sailing, which is good, as it's sorely needed. He is an adventuring, which is sorely needed. He has 3 swashbuckling, and so he can draw a card immediately before Mike starts at boarding attack. So
Yes.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. He kind of pays for his attack on the. So he's not a part of the Castilians, but I included him in the deck because he seemed like a pretty good guy.
He's on brand.
Yeah, if you wanted to fight people. So. All right. I am also going to put Franzini's Lost Notebook into the mirror over here. And attack 3 adventuring 2 if completed in Loboka. I could put it in Loboka, but that sends me back towards you. And I'm not about that right now.
That's a good question. So would both die if you discard 1 slash, or do you like do a card for each one?
You probably do a card for each one.
That's what I was thinking too.
That's what I would think. Yeah. You probably stack them. Okay. And that's my turn.
Are you untapping?
Oh.
We're not done. You and me.
I guess
I can't really move anymore.
This guy's ready.
I'm out of money.
Wait, I had a Maggie ready? I don't know. I think I tapped.
I'll just play this here.
Yeah, I countered and then moved. So okay. 4 cannons.
I can never adventure those, so it's fine.
Foul-weather Jack doesn't have anything that he can do here. Yeah, so nothing. I pass. All you can do is take a shot at you if you somehow get to me.
Okay, yeah, I think I passed you.
All right, so draw 3 and ready up. Okay. You're make some eyes over there.
This is a lot of words.
So.
So I have 4, 5, 6 sailing.
6 sailing. I have 3, 9 sailing.
Okay.
All right, so I am first. I think I have enough of a. I don't think so. I think so. I'm going to use my captain to play more archaeologists. And it's your turn.
So this card says I can't put it into play unless I've started 1 or more boardings this game.
Yes. Yes.
I haven't successfully boarded.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. He sunk the 1 crew that had some sailing on it.
I think I'll just go here. My action, and then I have to take an action. I'm gonna buy a dude 3 or 5 for Don Diana. Loyal Villain is Swordsman +1, so you have 1 extra hit during boarding attacks, and I can draw a card late before he starts a boarding attack.
Yep, so loyal means he could only be included in a Castilian deck.
I see.
Yeah, he's got some adventuring. He's got a lot of swashbuckling. All right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Kazlaz. The problem is, like, I have to get to him. That's, like, I cannot move. There's, like, no sailing in here.
All right, so I am going to use my boat to move here for free. And then I'm going to tap the Archaeologist for 2, and I'm going to attack Foul-weather Jack for 3 so that I can complete Franzini's Lost Notebook. And this gives... cost 3 adventuring because I'm in the mirror and not Loboka, and I can give a crew +3 adventuring.
Okay.
So we're gonna give Maggie, I think, +3 adventuring.
I'm gonna sail there.
Okay. +6. Not enough to Meet the sails of the wind. Don't have enough money. All right, so I'm gonna put eyes and cannons here in the Forbidden Sea. It's gonna cost me 3 adventuring to complete. If it would cost me only 2 if I. So, go ahead.
I can tack 2 adventuring in the Forbidden Sea for this merchant ship.
Yep.
And I can give somebody +3 cannon.
Yep.
Padre, you love cannons.
You know how much I love cannons. Told you many times. Complete this Mordecai's casket, maybe? I'm good at that. So it's only cost 3 adventuring because it's done in the mirror. So Maggie's gonna she's now 4 adventuring because of this. So she's gonna complete Mordecai's casket for me. And the other Maggie is gonna get the +1 swashbuckling. And she does 2 extra hits during
All right, so 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna give the Montaigne Valet.
Montaigne Valet.
Montaigne Valet. So that produces 1 extra money. I will give it to the fancy Dans. It seems fine. These fancy Dans are super fancy.
They have no attachments on them.
Oh no! Oh, my guys have no attachments. Like these 3 have no attachments. I guess I'll give it to Rosa.
She's buying all your stuff anyway. So.
Yeah.
Okay. We're at kind of an impasse because I sail over there, you shoot me.
Audrey is ready. He's literally lighting a cannon on his picture.
So there's not any of this in these sets, but there is magic in this setting. And the different factions like manifest magic in different ways.
Yeah.
One of the Montaigne gunners, like the picture for him is really interesting. He's like tearing a hole in reality because it's the flavor text is something like we're out of shot, and he's like, it's like you hear a rip and a scream, and he's just like producing a cannonball like out of a void. So and then like I want to say there's one magic called glamour, which has a lot to do with like illusions, stuff like that. There's one called fate, which like manipulates draw piles and stuff like that. So there's a lot of cool stuff going, but it's all on like uncommon or rare characters, and all the cards that refer to are like uncommon or rare.
This is all like starter set stuff.
Yeah, and this is like what came in the starter. So
gotcha.
There were random rares that were in these starter decks, but so I got to see like a little like some glimpses of some of the cooler stuff going on, but it's all money gated.
All right.
So it's my turn. I pass.
Okay. I think I too will pass.
All right. Okay. So draw 3. 1, 2, and 3. Discard 1. I'll discard.
Sailing. I have 4, 5, 6. Not getting any sailing. Not ever.
I have 11.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This guy? I needed this guy 1,000 years ago.
Was it the 4 sailing dude? Yeah. There's 3 copies of them in there.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going first. I think what I do is
this 11 crew including captain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're gonna have a full boat pretty quickly. I did not draw any more crew. So I'm gonna use my captain and use this Maggie. Together they're gonna produce 9 sailing. sorry, 9 adventure. So they complete Sails of the Wind.
9 adventure?
Yeah, it takes 15, 8 if you complete it in the mirror. It's a captain attachment, and it says react. Tack it after your ship has moved to an adjacent sea to move again at no cost.
The heck?
So I can use that to just fly around the ocean.
Jeez. Alright, Rosa. She will attack and well as this dude. So it's 4. Play Manuel Dehavez.
Alright, so I do have a reaction.
Okay.
Play when a player attacks a crew to produce influence. That crew produces no influence, and that crew's controller may pay 2 cannon to prevent this. Now, I think this is like a typographical error, right? Because this 2 cannon should be up there because they have text for that, right? Like they have rules for that. So I think this is like a
you could just slap that up there, right?
Like an editing issue. They could have just put 2 cannon up there.
All right, so I have to take 2 cannon.
So that was for
her, yeah.
For her, yeah.
All right, I guess I'll tap
the flying.
I'll tap Padre for that because I do want to be able to produce that.
Does it actually make the ship fly? This may actually be making the ship fly, but I'm not sure. So
all right, so you're up. I did pay the 2
for the Padre.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to put it's now. No, it's not the time. I'm going to put another copy of the Eisen cannons here. But it's got to be cornered. I think this is actually a mistake. I should have held on to this in case you started a boarding action with me, because I might need it to counter some of your attacks.
So I'm going to try to board, so I'm going to attack before performing an action to move to an adjacent sea,
okay,
and then pay the 4 sailing to start a boarding action.
You have so many crew. Your dudes are just going to run me through.
Start stabbing.
They're just going to start stabbing me. I think...
Or clubbing.
Yeah, or daggering. I think we gotta cancel it. I gotta cancel it. Canceled.
Okay.
Shoot you for 5. Your captain could just start the boarding. I can just like fly away from you. Sails. That might be my best bet. So what I'm going to do is before performing an action, I'm going to tap my ship to move to an adjacent sea. And we use the sail, so I've tacked, and I'll get to move again. I'll move to there. And then my action is going to be to play quick sailing. So I can tap, costing me 2 adventuring. I can untack one of my crew with the top man trait. So I'm going to untap Maggie Malone.
My God.
Top men. There was an adventure called Master of the Tops, which I think is just a funny name in context now. So,
all right. I'm gonna give the swiveling cannon to Mountainous Mike. He's picking up a cannon.
He's actually picking up the swiveling cannon as Mountainous Mike is carrying the cannon. Okay, I am. I'm going to use Maggie to complete Lady Katarina. So I get to give this to a crew. I'll give it to this Maggie. She's doing good work here. It costs 3 adventuring. Maggie has 4. So it goes there, and she now has +1 swashbuckling. And inflicts 1 extra hit during boarding. Actually, was this low book? No, it needs to be the.
I'll sail.
Okay. I am. I'm gonna use my captain to go through my deck and grab something. Or is it 4 copies? Did I include 4 copies of this? I think it's got to be 3.
He's cheated.
I think I've cheated you.
He's cheated me.
Well, so be it. I'm cheating. This is not supposed to be in the deck. I'll just remove this from. Don't worry about it.
Gosh.
Don't worry about it. Item. No crew. Artifact. Item. Sure. Mordecai's casket. Shuffle, and then we'll see if my jacks explode. You're shocked? Nihil says he's shocked.
I cannot believe.
Absolutely shocked that one of us has cheated the other.
This never happened before.
The entire history of tabletop royales thrown into flux here. Okay, so foul weather jack number 1 is fine. Foul weather jack number 2 is fine.
Yeah, I need that cannony boy to go.
The first line of defense is shooting you with a cannon. Alright, go ahead.
I want to board you. Can't.
It is an item adventure that my captain can go get. So that's why I included it in the deck. I did not realize that it included 4 of them. So the goal was to go get them with the captain. So in fact, drawing them was actually bad. I would rather have drawn other cards, like crew, to get run through with swords. So in essence, I've cheated myself.
I will pass.
I'm going to put Mordecai's casket into the frothing sea. I can't move my ship. I can't play any cards in my hand. I pass.
Okay. Alright, so I have 5 cards, so I'm going to discard 1.
Yep, so I'll draw 3.
Alright, so now I might have 8, 9, 10 sailing.
Okay, I have 3, 6, 9, and 11.
Okay.
The first thing I'm going to do is play Charter. I may not put this card into play unless I have completed 3 adventures, which I have. All completed adventures I have in play that provide skill bonuses provide an additional +1 to that skill.
Oh my god.
So, this is now, those are all +1. So, these Mordecai's caskets are +2, Lady Katarina's +2, Franzini's notebook is 4, the Eisen Cannon is 4.
Alright.
Excuse me, I have adventures to go on.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Alright, I'm going to put wind at your back here.
Okay. There you go.
+3 sailing from that.
Yep. I also included those in the deck to try to make it easier to sail, so. I assume you have just now drawn that, so. I did note that the boat was cumbersome and slow, and yeah. I tried to include things that would make it go faster, so. All right. right, so do I go get an adventure? It might be. I think I go grab an adventure. If my foul weather jacks explode, I can then like avoid you like the plague for the rest of the turn. I'm gonna go get the Keel of Rowanwood. And your turn.
Play.
I'll discard in a second.
Play Sandoval's Guard.
Okay.
11103.
Pretty good. I think that's fairly cost effective.
Yeah, it seems
3
good.
swashbuckling's pretty good. Having like a smattering of the other skills is pretty good. So now you're at your 11, correct?
Yes.
Full boat.
Alright, your dudes.
Alright, so this one. No, he's fine. This one? He's fine. It's exciting every time. Alright, so I am going to use my boat to move to here. We're going to use Maggie to complete Mordecai's casket. We'll put Mordecai's casket, I think, on my captain. And that's my turn.
Alright, I'll use my top man to go here.
Okay. I am going to put Keel of Rowanwood into the Trade Sea.
Alright. Use Rosa to complete Wind at Your Back. Well, no attachments, guys. Here, Padre probably gets the.
Very versatile.
Yeah. Actually, it's definitely better on Mountainous Mike. I think. I don't know. It's all the same. Or is it the same? I'll just put on Mountainous Mike.
Okay. I am going to I'm gonna I think I'll pass for right now.
Alright. I'm gonna try boarding. I will play grappling hooks.
Okay.
So play when you're boarding. The sailing cost at the beginning of boarding produces 3 sailing for that. So tap 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 1 more sailing for the boarding. I'll tap this guy.
Okay. You know what? Let's get it there.
All right.
I got enough of my crew untacked right now, so let's fight.
Okay. So I send a man's first.
You send someone forward.
Dondiana it is.
Okay, so I can choose to either just let him wreak havoc, or I can send somebody to block.
And I can draw a card before start.
Yes, yeah. And so you now let's get the exact order here.
Yeah.
So, for the rest of the boarding, you will be called the attacker. So,
right.
Beginning with the attacker, you push forward 1 of your crew and play any card from your hand as to start a boarding attack. It does not attack the crew. Ignore everything on the card except for the boarding boxes in the bottom left corner. The largest box with a black background and the word behind it is the boarding attack. So you play it. You just play it face up. Yeah.
Clubbing you.
All right. So you're gonna try to hit me with a club.
Yep.
All right. The other player can either take the hits or send one of my crew untacked out to fight against. Well, my guys are not ready to be clubbed. They choose to take the hits. They suffer hits as normal. They decide to fight. I push forward, and I have to like counter. I don't have. Yeah, I don't have a way to like stop you from just clubbing me.
Great.
Okay, so I have to find like 4 hits worth, right? These 3 swashbuckling +1.
And then +1 for my captain.
So 5 total.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a lot. 4 sink 5. Yeah, okay. So that's what I'll do. I'll attack the archaeologist for 2. I will sink them for 4. Then I'll attack foul with their attack for 5.